Welcome back to our channel. Today's video is about who is the founder of Buddhism? What about his life aspects? Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism. 1. The early life of Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama, born around 563 BCE in Lumbini, present-day Nepal, emerged into a world steeped in historical and cultural complexity. His birth into the Shakya clan, a small kingdom known for its unique political and social structure, marked the beginning of a life that would profoundly impact the spiritual landscape of Asia. Siddhartha's father, King Suddhodana, was a ruling figure deeply concerned with ensuring that his son would follow a path to power and greatness. To this end, Suddhodana sheltered Siddhartha from all experiences that might lead him to question the nature of existence beyond the palace walls. The young prince was raised in a meticulously controlled environment designed to shield him from the inherent suffering of the world. This upbringing was aimed at fulfilling a prophecy that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a revered holy man. His father's efforts to prevent him from encountering the harsh realities of life such as aging, sickness and death were intended to ensure Siddhartha would embrace a life of power and wealth. However, these efforts inadvertently set the stage for Siddhartha's eventual spiritual quest. His life in the palace was marked by opulence and privilege, but it was this very sheltered existence that would later become the backdrop for his profound existential awakening. The contrast between his life of luxury and the harsh realities he would later encounter underscores the dramatic transformation he underwent, leading him to question the very nature of existence and human suffering. 2. The foresights and their impact. At the age of 29, Siddhartha's sheltered life came to a pivotal juncture. His father, perhaps unwittingly, allowed him to venture beyond the palace walls. This exposure was marked by the famous encounters with the four sights: an old man, a sick man, a dead man, and a wandering ascetic. These sights represented the universal experiences of human suffering that Siddhartha had been shielded from. The sight of the old man, frail and weakened by age, made Siddhartha acutely aware of the inevitability of aging and the fragility of human vitality. The sick man, suffering from illness, introduced Siddhartha to the reality of physical suffering and the limitations of human health. The dead man confronted him with the finality of death, a concept he had previously been insulated from. Finally, the wandering ascetic, who had renounced worldly pleasures in search of spiritual enlightenment, presented an alternative to the life of indulgence Siddhartha had known. These encounters profoundly affected Siddhartha, compelling him to reflect on the nature of human existence and the pervasive suffering that characterizes it. The contrast between the ascetic's serene demeanor and Siddhartha's own life of comfort highlighted the futility of material wealth and sensory pleasure in achieving true contentment. This realization ignited a profound inner conflict and set Siddhartha on a path of renunciation and spiritual seeking, ultimately leading to his departure from royal life in search of a deeper understanding of existence. 3. Renunciation and the search for enlightenment. The decision to leave behind his royal life, including his wife Yasodhara and newborn son Rahula, marked a dramatic departure from Siddhartha's former existence. This act of renunciation was not merely a personal sacrifice, but a symbolic gesture of his commitment to seek a deeper truth beyond the superficialities of worldly life. Siddhartha adopted the life of an ascetic, which involved rigorous practices of self-denial, meditation and study under various teachers. He explored different spiritual paths and philosophies, each offering a partial glimpse into the nature of suffering and the potential for liberation. Siddhartha's journey took him through diverse practices and teachings, from extreme austerities to more moderate approaches, reflecting his deep commitment to understanding the nature of human suffering. His experiences during this period were characterized by intense physical and mental discipline, yet he found that neither extreme indulgence nor extreme asceticism provided the ultimate answer to his quest for enlightenment. This realization led him to the middle path, a balanced approach that eschews both self-indulgence and self-mortification. Siddhartha's journey through these various stages of spiritual practice was a crucial part of his evolution, as it allowed him to integrate the insights he gained into a comprehensive framework for understanding and overcoming suffering. 4. The enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Siddhartha's meditation under the Bodhi tree in Bodhigaya is one of the most significant events in Buddhist history. After years of rigorous ascetic practices, he chose to sit in meditation under this tree, vowing not to rise until he had attained enlightenment. This period of meditation was marked by profound inner struggles and confrontations with the forces of temptation and doubt, symbolized by the demon Mara. Siddhartha's steadfastness and clarity in meditation led to his ultimate realization of the nature of existence. He achieved enlightenment at the age of 35, a state of perfect understanding and liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This experience, known as Bodhi, revealed to him the Four Noble Truths and the path to nirvana. The enlightenment under the Bodhi tree was not merely a personal epiphany but a universal realization that offered a profound solution to the problem of human suffering. Siddhartha's experience of enlightenment marked the culmination of his spiritual quest and set the stage for his subsequent teachings. The Bodhi tree, now a symbol of enlightenment, represents the intersection of personal realization and universal truth, embodying the essence of the Buddhist path. 5. The core teachings of the Buddha. Following his enlightenment, Siddhartha, now known as the Buddha, began to share his insights with others. His teachings centered on the Four Noble Truths, which form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy. The first noble truth, the truth of suffering dukkha, acknowledges the pervasive nature of suffering in human existence. The second noble truth, the truth of the cause of suffering samudaya, identifies desire and attachment as the root causes of suffering. The third noble truth, the truth of the end of suffering nirodha, asserts that it is possible to overcome suffering by transcending desire. Finally, the fourth noble truth, the truth of the path to the end of suffering magga, outlines the Eightfold Path as the practical means to achieve liberation. The Eightfold Path itself is divided into three core areas: ethical conduct, right speech, right action, right livelihood, mental discipline, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, and wisdom, right understanding, right intent. These teachings offer a comprehensive framework for understanding and addressing the nature of suffering and the path to spiritual liberation. They emphasize the importance of ethical behavior, mental training, and wisdom as essential components of the spiritual journey. The Buddha's teachings have been influential in shaping various Buddhist traditions and practices, reflecting his profound understanding of the human condition and the path to enlightenment. 6. The formation and role of the Sangha. The establishment of the Sangha, the monastic community of monks and nuns, was a crucial development in the early spread of Buddhism. The Sangha was formed to support the Buddha's teachings and provide a structured community for those committed to the path of enlightenment. Members of the Sangha adhered to a set of monastic rules and engaged in practices designed to cultivate mindfulness, ethical conduct, and spiritual insight. The Sangha played a vital role in preserving and disseminating the Buddha's teachings, ensuring that they reached a wider audience and could be practiced and studied in a structured environment. The monastic community also provided a model for lay practitioners, demonstrating the principles of the Buddhist path in everyday life. The role of the Sangha extended beyond religious practice to include social and educational functions, as monks and nuns often engaged in teaching and counseling lay people. The organization of the Sangha into different orders and communities allowed for the adaptation of Buddhist teachings to various cultural contexts and contributed to the growth and diversity of Buddhism across Asia. 7. The Buddha's teachings and their dissemination. The Buddha's teachings were initially passed down orally by his disciples, who memorized and recited his sermons and discourses. Over time, these teachings were compiled into various collections, such as the Tripitaka Pali Canon in Theravada Buddhism and the Mahayana Sutras in Mahayana Buddhism. These texts served as the primary sources of Buddhist doctrine and practice, documenting the Buddha's teachings and the interpretations of his followers. The spread of Buddhism beyond India was facilitated by missionaries and scholars who traveled to different regions, introducing the teachings to new audiences and adapting them to local cultures. Buddhism's expansion was marked by the establishment of monasteries, the translation of scriptures, and the development of diverse schools and traditions. Each tradition emphasized different aspects of the Buddha's teachings, reflecting the diverse cultural and historical contexts in which they were practiced. The dissemination of Buddhism also involved dialogue with other religious and philosophical traditions, contributing to the rich tapestry of Buddhist thought and practice. 8. The legacy of the Buddha's life and teachings. The Buddha's life and teachings have left an enduring legacy that extends far beyond his time. His insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation have inspired countless individuals and shaped the spiritual landscape of Asia and beyond. The principles of compassion, mindfulness, and ethical conduct that are central to Buddhism have influenced various aspects of culture, philosophy, and social practice. The Buddha's emphasis on direct personal experience and self-exploration has resonated with people from diverse backgrounds, leading to a global appreciation of Buddhist teachings. The legacy of the Buddha is also reflected in the diverse forms of Buddhist practice and expression that have developed over the centuries. From meditation practices to ethical guidelines and social engagement, the Buddha's teachings continue to offer valuable insights and practical guidance for contemporary practitioners. The ongoing relevance of Buddhism in addressing the challenges of modern life underscores the enduring impact of the Buddha's spiritual insights and the transformative power of his teachings. 9. The Buddha's death and the concept of parinirvana. The Buddha's death, known as parinirvana, represents the final stage of his spiritual journey. At the age of 80, the Buddha passed away in Kushinagar, India, achieving parinirvana, which signifies the ultimate liberation from the cycle of rebirth and suffering. The concept of parinirvana is central to Buddhist understanding of death and liberation, marking the end of the Buddha's earthly existence and his complete entry into a state of transcendence. Parinirvana is not merely the cessation of physical life, but a profound realization of the ultimate truth and freedom from all conditioned existence. The Buddha's death was met with great reverence and reflection by his disciples, who commemorated his life and teachings through rituals, memorials, and the continued practice of his teachings. The concept of parinirvana serves as a reminder of the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice and the possibility of transcending the cycle of suffering. It highlights the Buddha's achievement of complete enlightenment and his final liberation from the constraints of the material world. 10. The evolution and diversity of Buddhist traditions. The evolution of Buddhism from its origins in India to its spread across Asia and beyond has resulted in a rich and diverse array of traditions and practices. As Buddhism encountered different cultures and societies, it adapted and evolved, giving rise to various schools and sects. Major traditions include Theravada Buddhism, which emphasizes the monastic path, and the earliest teachings of the Buddha Mahayana Buddhism, which includes a range of practices and philosophies focused on the ideal of the Bodhisattva, and Vajrayana Buddhism, known for its esoteric practices and emphasis on the role of the guru. Each tradition reflects unique interpretations of the Buddha's teachings and different approaches to spiritual practice. The diversity of Buddhist traditions illustrates the adaptability and relevance of the Buddha's teachings in different cultural contexts. This rich tapestry of practices and beliefs contributes to the ongoing vitality and dynamism of Buddhism, providing a wide range of paths for individuals seeking spiritual growth and understanding. The global presence of Buddhism today reflects the enduring appeal and transformative power of the Buddha's teachings, continuing to inspire and guide practitioners around the world. Thanks for watching and subscribing to our channel for more videos.